Voting is a little different in a virtual meeting. Once logged in, you will see a video screen and a text box. Note the text box could be beside or below the video window depending on the type of device you are using. When the chairperson requests a motion,
I would like to ask for a motion to waive the readings of last year's annual meeting minutes and to accept them.
A pop-up button will appear showing the request and a button that says motion. We only need one member to click motion, and then once someone clicks it, everyone's button will change to say second. We only need one member to click that button as well. Stan, we have a motion and a second.
Any discussion?
If you have any questions about the motion, please use the text box to enter them when the chair asks for any discussion. Note, we'll allow an extended time for you to type in your comments. When any questions are answered, the chair will call for a vote.
Please select your vote so we can vote on this motion.
A pop-up screen will appear showing the motion and your voting options. Be sure to hit submit for your vote to register. When finished, click OK. It may take up to a minute to tabulate the voting results. Please be patient. The votes are in and it's 152 yay and 0 nay.
The motion is carried. Thank you.
Voting is just that easy. Thank you.
Good evening, and welcome to the 87th Greylock Federal Credit Union Annual Meeting and our third virtual annual meeting. Thank you for joining us. My name is Stan Walczyk, and I have enjoyed the honor of being the chairperson of the Greylock's Board of Directors for the past 4 years. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce you to Cindy Shagri-Raymer, our Vice President and Director of Community Development. Cindy is one of our facilitators today, and she has some basic housekeeping rules for you. Cindy.
Thank you, Stan, and hello, everyone. Please be advised if you want to address the Assembly throughout the meeting, you must submit your comment or question in the text box located on this page, and make sure you hit the send button. This is only our third virtual annual meeting, and we would like to take a minute to explain how this will work. In case you missed it before the meeting started, we would like to share a short video explaining how the voting process works. Voting is a little different in a virtual meeting. Once logged in, you will see a video screen and a text box. Note the text box could be beside or below the video window depending on the type of device you are using. When the chairperson requests a motion,
I would like to ask for a motion to waive the readings of last year's annual meeting minutes and to accept them.
A pop-up button will appear showing the request and a button that says motion. We only need one member to click motion, and then once someone clicks it, everyone's button will change to say second. We only need one member to click that button as well. Stan, we have a motion and a second.
Any discussion?
If you have any questions about the motion, please use the text box to enter them when the chair asks for any discussion. Note, we'll allow an extended time for you to type in your comments. When any questions are answered, the chair will call for a vote.
Please select your vote so we can vote on this motion.
A pop-up screen will appear showing the motion and your voting options. Be sure to hit submit for your vote to register. When finished, click OK. It may take up to a minute to tabulate the voting results. Please be patient. The votes are in and it's 152 yay and 0 nay.
The motion is carried. Thank you.
Voting is just that easy. Thank you. If you would like to win a door prize, please make sure you stay online after the meeting concludes. We will be announcing the winners' names and mailing your gift to you. Now I have the honor of sharing a special video about our history and a pre-recorded message from our chairperson, Stan Walczyk.
The year was 1935. The country and the world were in the midst of the Great Depression. Aviator Amelia Earhart became the first woman to fly solo across the Pacific Ocean. Rock and roll legend Elvis Presley, the King, was born in Tupelo, Mississippi. President Franklin Roosevelt's New Deal legislation was passed by the House of Representatives. Meanwhile, here in Berkshire County, Massachusetts, the charter of the Pittsfield GE Employees Credit Union was issued. In the first year, PGEECU had 272 members. Then, in the 1940s, Following the Great Depression and World War II, people in our nation were pulling together like never before for the greater good. And by 1947, our credit union membership had grown to 5,211 as a result of our people helping people philosophy. By the 1950s, the credit union's assets exceeded $1 million for the first time, and our credit union began hiring employees of its own rather than have GE employees perform credit union tasks. Fast forward to the 1960s, and our Pittsfield GE employees' credit union assets reached $2,247,807, and we offered home mortgages for the first time. The credit union's first building was completed in 1971 on Kellogg Street in Pittsfield, and drew quite a crowd. The once a member, always a member philosophy was adopted, so members leaving GE no longer had to close their accounts or pay off their loans. In 1979, an in-house computer system was installed, and now checking accounts were added to the credit union's list of services. In the 1980s, the credit union introduced individual retirement accounts, or IRAs, built the credit union's first drive-up window service, and introduced automated teller machines. In the 90s, the Quality Time Club was introduced, and the first outside full-service branch opened on Merrill Road in Pittsfield. Membership was offered to anyone who lives or works in Berkshire County, and our name was changed to Greylock Federal Credit Union. New branches opened in Adams and Lee, and we started offering loans in Great Barrington. www.greylock.org went online, and we opened our new headquarters on West Street in Pittsfield. As the 20th century came to a close, Greylock, like every smart company, braced for the Y2K scare, which turned into the biggest non-event in the history of computers. At the start of the new century, we introduced free online services including online banking, bill pay, and e-statements. A couple of years later, we launched business banking services, started the Greylock Insurance Agency, and the Greylock Investment Group. The economy saw some tough times in the early 2000s as Berkshire County and the whole world experienced the housing bubble burst, followed by the Great Recession. It was a time when many large financial institutions struggled and failed, but Greylock's commitment to serving the needs of our community helped us emerge stronger than ever. In 2018, Greylock refreshed our logo and updated our brand to focus even more on helping our community to thrive. In early 2020, the reality of COVID-19 hit home, and by March, Greylock had to quickly adapt and find new ways to continue serving our members. Their incredibly loyal and flexible members adapted to drive-up lines, drop boxes, telephone, online, and mobile banking in record numbers. Today, while the world is still somewhat uncertain of what the future will hold, Greylock members agree that their credit union is built to withstand whatever the world throws at us. And no matter what the future brings, Greylock will continue moving forward and focus on improvements to meet the needs of the community and their members.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you again for attending this year's annual meeting. As you've just seen, Greylock has a proven history of adapting to our community's needs. Our story was written in partnership with you and for you, our members. I'm speaking to you from our Kellogg Street branch, originally built back in 1971. This building was our very first branch that was outside of the General Electric workplace. This new building was just one of the many ways that we have adapted over the years to better serve you. In fact, we remodeled this very space in 2019, and it included our first Community Empowerment Center. The center is dedicated to ensure that everyone has access to the tools and resources they need to achieve their financial goals. Whether it's a savings for retirement, or a child's education, a young couple moving back to our community, serving the underserved or the unbanked populations. This center has something for everyone. These are just some of the reasons I'm so proud to serve on your board. Being the chairman of Greylock's volunteer board of directors is a tremendous honor. This diverse group of professionals all have one thing in common: a passion for this community. We are pleased to be fostering an organization that is built by and for our members, an organization dedicated to making our region a better place for all of us to achieve our goals. There's tremendous value in being a member of Greylock. While many financial institutions focus on making a profit, the credit union difference focuses on making positive impacts in the lives of our fellow members and our community every day. Under the board's governance, you can be assured that Greylock will continue treating everyone with respect and will provide them with an opportunity to realize their personal potential. With an internal commitment to providing deep, authentic value to our members, and our external commitment to supporting our partners across the community, Greylock truly is by the community, for the community, and will continue to grow with the community. Again, thank you for being a loyal member. And as we move into the final stages of this pandemic, we know that Greylock has a part to play in healing and bringing everyone together around the shared vision of a thriving community. Thank you. Now I'd like to call the 87th annual meeting of Greylock Federal Credit Union to order. And please note the Assistant Clerk, Jamie Ellen Monchecki, has advised me that a quorum is present. Before we get started, I also wanted to acknowledge and thank our attorney, Dennis Egan, for participating this evening. And a special thank you to the marketing and the IT department for making tonight's virtual meeting possible. Now, before we have our first vote, please remember to use the pop-up button to make motions and seconds. We only need one of each, so if the button goes away before you can select it, that just means that someone has already hit the button and that we're all set. For discussions and questions, please use the comment section on this page and remember to hit submit. Now, may we have a motion and a second to waive the reading of last year's annual meeting minutes and accept them?
We have a motion and a second.
Thank you, Cindy. Is there any discussion?
There is no discussion.
For voting, a pop-up will appear. Please select your vote and remember to hit submit. Can we please vote on the motion?
The votes are in, and it's 82 yay and 0 nay.
The motion is carried. Thank you. This year we have an uncontested election for 4 openings on the board. As I introduce the nominees, I want to say how fortunate we are to have a group of community leaders serving on our board and supervisory committee. Their backgrounds cover education, healthcare, management, IT, human resources, finance, accounting, community development, and much more. It is this level of diversity that ensures the integrity of our credit union as we continue to move forward. I am pleased to introduce the slate put forth by our nominating committee. Crystal Blake. Crystal is a project manager at General Dynamics Mission Systems. Tyrone Allen Jackson. Ty is the founder of Big Head Books, LLC, and co-founder of Read or Else. Anthony Rinaldi Jr. Tony is Executive Vice President of Fairview Hospital for Berkshire Health Systems. And me, Stan Walczyk. I was the president of O'Laughlin Home Care Pharmacy in Dalton, which was acquired by and operates as Market 32 Price Chopper in Pittsfield. Now, may I have a motion and a second to instruct the clerk to cast one ballot for the slate of candidates as nominated?
Stan, we have a motion and a second.
Thank you, Cindy. Is there any discussion?
There is no discussion.
Thank you. Can we please vote on the motion?
The votes are in, and it's 77 yay and 2 nay.
Thank you. The motion is carried. I would like to thank the rest of our board of directors. John Bissell. John is the president and CEO of Greylock Federal Credit Union. Gerard Burke. Jerry is president and CEO of Hillcrest Educational Centers. Kelly Kroc. Kelly is a senior advanced HR advisor for General Dynamics. Sheila LaBarbera. Sheila is the executive director of the Berkshire County Retirement Board. Colleen Holmes. Colleen is president and CEO for Viability Incorporated. John Law. John retired as vice president for administration and finance and chief financial officer at Berkshire Community College. And Peter Lopez. Peter is a senior manager at LTI Smart Glass in Pittsfield. The members of the supervisory committee include Allison Bedard, senior audit manager at Mitchell & Titus LLP. Crystal Blake, project manager at General Dynamics. Laurie Broderick Bean, Senior Accountant at McMahon and Vigent, PC. Catherine Ortega, Senior Tax Accountant with Ernst & Young. Brian House, Director of Community Outreach and Engagement with the Berkshire County District Attorney's Office. Thank you, directors and supervisory members, for your commitment to this credit union. Now, I'd like to share a pre-recorded video from our President and CEO, John Bissell, before they hear the financial reports for 2021.
Thank you, Stan. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for attending this annual meeting. As we meet tonight, we send our thoughts to people everywhere suffering from war, violence, and injustice. Working with our partners at the World Council of Credit Unions, Greylock has provided financial support for our credit union brothers and sisters in Ukraine. We are all reminded that life and liberty are precious and not to be taken for granted. I am deeply grateful that at Greylock, we are always able to move forward together with a shared sense of purpose, and despite the pandemic, 2021 was no exception. I'd like to start with a heartfelt thank you to our amazing Greylock team. Here in our newest branch and in every Greylock location and department, our folks are working tirelessly to meet your needs, working our tower lines and drive-ups, answering 140,000 phone calls, keeping 83 million digital transactions safe and secure, servicing nearly 20,000 insurance policies, producing more than 7,000 consumer loans and more than 1,200 real estate loans. Altogether, more than $300 million in total loans originated. All of that in a single year. To all of our Greylock employees, you really delivered in 2021, and please know how much I appreciate you. Together, we continue to open opportunities for all people across the communities we serve. That includes helping great local businesses like Blue Q to benefit from the Paycheck Protection Program. Blue Q owners Mitch and Seth Nash worked with our business lenders to make sure they got the funds they needed to keep their workforce strong and keep those shipments moving. As Mitch said later, with Greylock holding our hand, things went smoothly, and as a result, the company was able to keep our entire staff intact, avoiding a lot of heartache and a huge loss of investment in this tight team. To our friends at Blue Q, I'm so happy we were able to help you and help hundreds of other businesses and nonprofits too, injecting more than $60 million into our economy and helping to save 7,500 jobs during the pandemic. This amount was so significant that the Small Business Administration named Greylock as the #1 lender for rural businesses across all of Massachusetts last year. In addition to supporting long-established customers like Blue Q, our Greylock teams also work with new Americans like the Loyola Ramos family who came to this country 22 years ago with a dream of buying a home. They worked hard and saved their money, but even with substantial savings, they were turned down for a mortgage by a local bank. Then a friend suggested they meet with Gloria Escobar, Greylock's Latinx financial coach. Today, I am thrilled to say their dreams are coming true, and they are now under contract for their new home. These are just a couple of the amazing stories I hear every day as we work with families, businesses, and community partners to open opportunity for all. From helping folks prepare for retirement, to supporting Black-owned businesses, to making sure students become financially savvy. I can't thank or praise your Greylock team enough for their loyalty and heroism during these uncertain times. There was a lot to celebrate in 2021 as well. We improved access for our 2,000 members in Columbia County, New York, by opening a new branch in Greenport, Hudson. We brought Credit Union of the Berkshires under our wing, and our Greylock Insurance Agency acquired the Roger Butler Agency in Westfield, Massachusetts. Through every challenge and every opportunity, our teams keep adapting, we keep finding solutions, and we keep moving forward. Since 1935, that's what your credit union has always done. In closing, I'd like to say thank you to our chairman, Stan Walczyk, and our volunteer board of directors. Their dedication to serving this credit union is unwavering, and their thoughtful governance keeps us focused on strengthening our community and building financial wealth for all. No matter what happens in 2022 and beyond, Greylock will be here, safe and strong. We will work every day to earn your trust and to help the whole community to know opportunity grows here. Thank you.
Thank you, John. I'm pleased to introduce to you Michael Stoddard, our Executive Vice President and Chief Financial Officer. Mike.
Thank you, Stan. Hello, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here tonight to present to you a summary of our financial results for 2021. As we all know, we entered 2021 with plenty of uncertainty and volatility created by the pandemic. Yet 2021 turned out to be a very strong year financially for us as robust deposit growth continued, loan losses declined to a 27-year low, and net income for the year reached an historic high. Greylock's rock-solid balance sheet, strong capital position, and reliable earnings stream has positioned the credit union to meet our members' financial needs and support our community today and for generations to come. In 2021, we saw our members remain focused on saving money and borrowing less as we all continue to face economic instability. As you can see in our first graph, deposits grew by $145 million. This was the second highest annual growth in our history. And on the other hand, loans decreased by about $26 million, our first decrease since 2013. About $10 million of the reduction in loans was due to the continued forgiveness of the Paycheck Protection Program loans, also known as PPP loans. And deposit growth was assisted by federal stimulus checks sent out to members in early 2021. Overall, total assets increased by $136 million, which is 10% over the prior year, bring our assets to more than $1.5 billion. Now, our capital is the fuel that allows us to responsibly take in deposits and make loans, and at the same time acts as a shock absorber that lets us safely weather any economic storms we might face in the future. Capital is basically measured as a percentage of total assets. So normally when our assets grow as much as they did in 2021, our capital ratio would decline a bit, as we did see in 2020. But record earnings fed our capital enough to lift our ratio from 9.93% of assets to 10.12% at the end of 2021, as you can see in the chart that we're looking at now. The next slide shows the condition of our loan portfolio. On this slide, the lower the ratio, the better. Here we can see our loan charge-offs as a percentage of our loans continues to trend lower, dropping from 0.14% to 0.09%, which is the lowest we have experienced since 1994. We also see our loans with payments that are past their due dates by 60 days or more, also measured as a percentage of loans, trending nicely lower as well, declining from 0.72% in 2020 to 0.59% in 2021, which was our lowest since 2006. My last slide shows that our net income increased from $8.5 million in 2020 to a record level of $12.7 million in 2021. The increase in earnings was driven mostly by income earned from PPP loan originations that were recorded in interest income, by lower funding costs, and by a significant reduction of $3 million in the amount of provision for loan losses compared to the prior year. This was due to the lower amount of loan charge-offs we experienced. We also saw our other sources of income increase by $2 million due to another active year in originating mortgages, higher interchange income from use of our debit and credit cards, and higher insurance and investment services income. Now, at the same time, our operating expenses increased by $5 million as we experienced pressure on wage and benefit costs and higher processing expenses, as well as continued investment in technology and systems security. Now, as we go forward into 2022, we expect our net income will move down closer to the prior year's levels that we've seen in the past, as the income from PPP loans and mortgage originations will decline to more normalized levels from their highs in 2021. Also, we expect to see wage pressures as we compete for talent, retain our outstanding employees, and experience higher expenses in general. Overall, we still expect a solid earnings performance in 2022. And now one last thing I wanted to mention is we were recently approved for $23 million in low-cost secondary funds from the U.S. Treasury. This was part of the Emergency Capital Investment Program. This new capital will help us to expand our ability to meet the lending needs of members living in low to moderate income areas and small businesses impacted by the pandemic. So we expect to see these funds coming into the credit union somewhere around mid-year. So this concludes my report tonight. I want to thank you for joining us tonight and for so faithfully supporting the work that we do here at your credit union.
Thank you, Mike. May we have a motion and a second to accept the Chief Financial Officer's report?
We have a motion and a second.
Thank you, Cindy. Is there any discussion?
There is no discussion, Stan.
Can we vote on this motion?
The votes are in, and it's 87 yay and 0 nay.
Thank you, Cindy. The motion is carried. The next item on the agenda is a report of the Supervisory Committee. I'd like to thank all of our Supervisory Committee members for their diligence, especially the Committee Chair, Allison Bedard. This year, our report will be delivered on behalf of the Supervisory Committee by James McGough from our independent audit firm of Wolf & Company. Jim.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here tonight to present this report. I work as an audit partner for Wolf & Company, which is a CPA firm headquartered in Boston. And we do business with approximately 300 financial institutions. And we audited the credit union's 2021 financial statements. I'd like to give you a brief update on the credit union industry and then talk about Greylock's audit. The credit union industry as a whole had strong performance in 2021. In the 2021 annual report of the National Credit Union Administration, which is the credit union's regulator and the agency that controls the insurance for the member deposits, in their report, they noted that the credit union industry adapted quickly to the ongoing challenges posed by the pandemic and continued to deliver financial services throughout. And they noted the industry had strong key performance indicators in 2021. Total assets of the credit union system increased 11% to $2 trillion. Credit union membership increased 4% to 130 million members. And the aggregate net worth ratio, that is the capital strength of the credit union system, was 10.3% for all credit unions combined in the country, which is considered very well capitalized. So it was a good year for the credit union industry. I'll now talk about the 2021 audit of Greylock Federal Credit Union. We audited your credit union's financial statements as of and for the year ending December 31st, 2021. And we issued an unmodified opinion. And that's also called, some people call it a standard opinion or a clean opinion, but what it means is there were no audit adjustments. And it means that the financial results that the CFO just presented to you, those are accurate. We follow generally accepted auditing standards to perform our audit and to issue this opinion. We are required to be independent of the credit union, and we are, and we report directly to the Supervisory Committee. To perform our audit, we gained an understanding of the controls at the credit union that impact financial reporting, including information technology controls. We assess the accounting principles that management uses to ensure that they comply with generally accepted accounting principles. And we tested all significant estimates that management made to prepare those financial statements. We examined audit evidence for all material amounts in the financial statements. That could be account reconciliations, testing individual transactions, analytics, And we do third-party confirmation procedures for all material assets and liabilities. You might have received one of our confirmation requests asking you to confirm the balance of your deposit account or your loan account. So we did all this work, and the audit evidence we obtained is sufficient and appropriate to support our opinion on the 2021 financial statements, which, as I said earlier, is a clean opinion. As an auditor, we are required to be independent of management, and we are, but I'm very comfortable telling you that I think the management team of your credit union deserves a great deal of credit for managing the institution, expanding services to members, participating in the CDFI grants, which are very beneficial to the membership, qualifying for those first, and just ensuring the continued profitability of the credit union and fortifying the capital position of the credit union. This completes our report.
Thank you, Jim, for your report. May I have a motion and a second to accept the Supervisory Committee report?
We have a motion and a second, Stan.
Thank you, Cindy. Is there any discussion on that report?
There is no discussion on the report, Stan.
Thank you, Cindy. Can we please vote on this motion?
The votes are in, and it's 86 yay and 0 nay.
The motion is carried. Thank you. Before we adjourn, I would like to thank the incredible Greylock team for all their great services and hard work, especially during these challenging times. I'd also like to thank everyone here for participating this evening and for being such loyal members. At this time, is there any other business to come before the membership?
Stan, we do have a few questions that I'm going to be directing to our CEO and President, John Bissell. These came in during the meeting. So first, John, we have a question from member Lloyd Moss. As a new member, I was wondering if you can tell us if there will be a passbook type loans where the bank account acts as security for a loan. If you do offer that, is income verification still necessary?
Well, thank you, Cindy and Lloyd. We appreciate that question. We do have that type of loan. We don't have passbook savings, but we do have a shared secured loan and a CD secured loan. And I'm sure anyone in our branches would be happy to help you with that. In terms of income verification in any kind of lending situation, we just need to establish an ability for the borrower to repay. So we'll try to make that as simple for you as possible. But again, if you visit one of our branches, I'm sure someone could help you set that up.
Thank you, John. We have from member Peter Scheffer. Would you please speak to how Greylock is prepared for a potential cyber attack? And is there anything we as members should be doing?
Yeah, this is a great question. It's very much on our minds as your financial institution. And yes, it should be on the minds of all of our members in a very balanced way. In terms of what the credit union is doing, we are constantly investing in cybersecurity and in IT security overall. That includes hardening our digital defenses and working with our vendors and our partners to make sure that their digital preparation is secure. But it also means investing in our people. We are constantly training our folks to make sure they don't click on anything that they shouldn't, or that they don't breach any information or anything like that. So we have a constant investment in this. And it's important for you to know that not only are we investing in added security, but those investments, those projects, those initiatives, all that preparation is also audited. You heard that Jim McGough looks carefully at our financials, but we also have auditors and examiners looking at our IT infrastructure and our preparation and our internal controls. And you can never be too prepared. We're never going to be done making these investments, but we do feel good about where we are now. We believe that we're taking all the steps that are appropriate for us to take, and we'll never be done with that. In terms of what members can do, I would encourage you to visit www.greylock.org and look at all the educational information that we have out there about security. Always make sure you use strong passwords. Check your credit at least once a year. Check your credit report for anything strange or that doesn't seem to be your own activity. Keep an eye on your accounts. I prefer to use mobile banking and online banking so I can always look and see if there's anything unusual in my account activity. So those are just some of the basic things that members can do. But again, I encourage you to visit our website. There's a lot more information out there that you can also take a look at.
Thank you, John. We have a few more. Member Thomas Utch asked, what are your technology initiatives for this year?
Well, in addition to the cyber security preparation that I mentioned, we're also looking at how we can invest in our technology to help our work flow more smoothly through the credit union. We want to make sure that our employees can work as efficiently as possible. We want them to be able to spend as much time as possible in those relationship building conversations with members and with each other, and less time on manual labor, frankly, data entry, stuff like that. So if there's things that can be done by the computer, that's what we want to do, is have that computer do that manual labor for us. So we're looking at workflow automation and workflow improvements of that nature. We're also looking at how we can make better use of data to make decisions in ways that are more responsive to the needs of our members, our insurance customers, our investment customers. There's a lot of information that we have, and that if we look more carefully at it, we might be able to anticipate your needs and really solve financial challenges for our members more quickly.
We have another one, John, from Todd Noyes. Will you be able to offer safe deposit boxes at the Williamstown branch?
I wish we could, but unfortunately, we try to be a one-stop shop. We've got every kind of deposit and loan service that you can imagine. We've even got insurance and investments, but safety deposit boxes are not something we've had in the past, and we don't have any immediate plans to put that in place. I wish we could. I wish we did, but unfortunately, I know some other local financial institutions do offer that service. It's not in our immediate future, unfortunately.
We have another question. This is from Vivian Orlowski. Do any town or city governments in the Berkshires have accounts at Greylock?
Today, we don't offer, it's called municipal deposits. We don't have that. Actually, there's a Massachusetts state law that prohibits credit unions, believe it or not, from engaging in those services. That is something that may change in the future. But as of today, the answer is no. But it's something we have talked to our elected officials about possibly changing into the future. And then we could offer that service.
No, we have addressed all the questions in the queue, okay. So I don't see any more. Thank you so much, John.
All right, and Cindy, I just want to address a question that I got today, which is when will the Lanesboro branch open? And I'm happy to tell you that it actually opened yesterday. So thanks to an awful lot of hard work by our HR team, our branch administration team, our branch team, our IT folks, everyone, our facilities teams, everyone got together and built a plan and got that branch reopened after 2 years. So we're really happy to have it back in operation. I know the members are really pleased about that too. But Cindy, thank you for your help with the questions tonight. I appreciate it.
Well, it looks like we've addressed all the questions. We've shared the comments. At any time, if you as a member do have a question, you can direct them through the branches and we can get the information that you need in a timely fashion. Before we adjourn, I want to wish you all a healthy and prosperous year. I look forward to seeing you all again at next year's annual meeting in March of 2023, hopefully in person. Now, I'd like to ask for a motion and a second to adjourn.
We have a motion and a second, Stan.
Thank you, Cindy. Is there any discussion?
There are no questions, Stan, but we do have just so move and a thank you.
Very good. Can we please vote on the motion?
The votes are in, and it's 86 yay and 1 nay.
The motion carries, and the meeting is adjourned. We will now inform you if you have won the door prize. Remember, these prizes will be mailed to you. Thank you.
And thank you, Stan, and everybody for attending. For all you winners, please make sure that we do have your current address because we will be mailing your prizes to the address we have on system. So our winners tonight are Thomas Bernard, Roberta McCullough, Nancy Wilcox, Todd Noyes, Mary Cater, Joanne Billow, Anna Flynn, Eugenie Sills, Thomas Utch, and Edwin Eichel. Congratulations, everyone. Thank you, and I hope you have another wonderful year.